the voice inside my head. A 21-day manifestation, 108 Mala Guru Beads practice day 0 was today. 3 times already the practice has been done. 3 times one sat down with the intention. 3 times one entered the same visualization. And something interesting happened. The picture became clearer. Not necessarily louder, not necessarily more exciting, just clearer. The voice inside my head, the VMH, seems to evolve every time one does it. Perhaps that is what repetition does. The first time, the mind may show an outline. The second time, details begin appearing. The third time, one notices something that wasn't visible before. And perhaps tomorrow, the same visualization will reveal something else. Not because one is forcing the image, but because one is returning to the same place again and again and again. Today, one picks up the Motorola stylus phone. One sees the home screen. There is the familiar folder. The finger opens it. Inside are the applications. One has seen hundreds of times. One touches the PNC banking app. The application opens. The numbers begin appearing. For a brief moment, there is anticipation. Not panic, not desperation. Just the next step in a visualization becoming more familiar. The account information appears, and there it is. The available balance, $17,384.62, over $17,000. Available, visible. Real enough inside the mind to read the individual numbers. The first time, perhaps there was simply the idea of more than $17,000. The next time, the phone became clearer. Then the folder. Then the PNC application. Then the screen. Then the numbers. The visualization does not have to remain frozen. It is evolving. And while one sees the balance, another picture appears. The before picture. The clean house Inca backyard. The van. The white van that was donated. Now sitting there, dead in the water. The overgrown weeds, the grass taking back space that people once intended to use, the partial asphalt backing, the improvised gate made from 8-foot by 4-foot boards, the brick buildings, the whole place in that strange condition between what it has been and what it could become. It is not yet the polished after picture, and that is important. One sees it honestly. The weeds are there, the dead van is there, the boards are there. The brick is there, the unfinished business is there. This is the before. And perhaps manifestation, in part, means having the courage to look at the before picture without immediately becoming disgusted by it. Because the before picture is evidence that there is a place for the after picture to arrive. One sees the backyard. Then one sees what is coming through it. Backyardvegan.org. Not merely as a website, as a point of attraction, a signal, an invitation. A place where people, ideas, food, opportunities, work, and money can begin finding one another. Then the other signals appear. Cleanhouseinc.org, martinluthercartwright.org. Different names, different purposes, different doors. Yet somehow part of the same harmonic field. Not one chasing every dollar, not one running in 18 directions, but one creating, publishing, practicing, and allowing the work to attract the people and opportunities that resonate with it. The bulk of the income coming through harmonic resonance and attraction, through visibility, through usefulness, through connection, through the strange possibility that when the right things are put into the right places, some people who need them can actually find them. And somewhere in this picture, one remembers, keep it to yourself. Not as secrecy born of fear, not hiding, not pretending, just quiet. Do the work, let the events conclude. Let the results become established. Then speak. The goal is not to announce an intention every time it enters the mind. The goal is to complete what can be completed. And when the proper conclusion arrives, one quietly steps away from the board. Not angrily, not dramatically, not disappearing in chaos. A successful conclusion. A clean exit. And then the announcement can come after the work has reached its conclusion. Here is what has happened. Here is where things stand. Here is what has been prepared. And on the table is everything needed to continue. The paperwork, the financial journal book, the deed information, the IRS information, the Secretary of State information, the passcodes, the usernames, the records, the organizational knowledge, everything gathered and presented so that Clean House Inc. can continue with little or no participation from one. Not abandonment. Preparation, not running away, completion. One has spent enough of life carrying things inside the head. Now the information is being put where other people can find it. The responsibility is being made transferable. The work is being documented. The organization is being given the possibility of continuing without one standing in the middle of every door. And then the voice inside my head speaks. Perhaps it is an old voice. Perhaps it says, "Who do you think you are?" Perhaps it says, "You've tried things before. You've made plans before. You've seen numbers before. Don't get your hopes up." But one does not have to fight that voice. The VimH may be changing too, evolving with every repetition. The old voice can speak, and one can continue the practice. Because the purpose is not to silence every thought. The purpose is to decide who gets listened to, who gets believed, who gets to drive. The old voices may have been trying to help for 54 years, but some of their directions never worked. The 12 steps worked. Moral inventory worked. Honesty worked. Repetition worked. Getting sober worked. Looking at oneself worked. Returning to a practice worked. So here one is, day one. The picture is becoming clearer. The Motorola stylus, the folder, the PNC application, the available balance, $17,384.62. The clean house Inca backyard, the dead white donated van, the weeds, the grass, the partial asphalt, the 8x4 boards forming a gate, the brick buildings, the before picture. And beyond it, backyardvegan.org. An after picture not yet completely visible, a process still unfolding, an organization prepared to continue, a quiet conclusion, a quiet exit. And one does not have to solve every step tonight. One does not have to explain the entire mechanism. One does not have to convince everybody. For this moment, one practices the feeling of the completed movement. The picture becomes clearer. Then one lets it go. No digging up the seed, no frantic checking. No announcement before the conclusion, just practice, visualization, repetition, detachment, and gratitude. So now, pick up the 108 Malaguru beads, begin the 21-day manifestation practice, move through each bead, return to the visualization, see it as clearly as it comes. Do not force the picture, let the details reveal themselves. The Motorola stylus, the folder, the PNC application, the available balance over $17,000, the before picture of the backyard, the dead van, the weeds, the gate, the brick buildings, and then the movement beyond them. Backyardvegan.org. The work continuing, the information organized, the responsibility transferable, and not even the conclusion successful. Then, after the completed visualization, let it go, move to the next bead and the next and the next, until all 108 have passed through your fingers. And when the practice is complete, say, "It is done, I am. Thank you. Now."